Hi guys, this series of videos are related to tutorial week 6 and 7. What we want to do is to see how leveling the resources will be done, how we can set the baseline for the project, and how we can generate the status report with Microsoft Project. The first thing we want to do is to do the leveling. So what I already have here is the required information for the project in terms of the basic information, name of the task, duration of the task, start date and finish date, and the information on the predecessors. When assigning the resources to every single task, the first thing we want to do is to define what resources we have. So for doing that, you should go to View tab, Resource Sheet, and type in name of the resource that you have. The first resource we have is marketing staff. Just to make it easier, I just put in the abbreviation. Type of this resource is work. If the resource is in material and cost, I would choose the other two, but currently we have work type. The maximum available is 500%. We have 5 marketing staff available, and the rate is $80 per hour. The cost will occur based on the progress of the task. So you don't pay your marketing staff in the beginning of the task or at the end of the task. You just consider the expense of this project to occur as the task goes on. So instead of choosing start and end, we just choose prorated. The cost is based on standard calendar, so people are working on standard calendar, not night shift or 24-hour shift. So just put it standard calendar, and then we also enter rest of our resources the same way. I just choose all of these resources, copy them to make it a bit faster for us. This is the information for available resources, but we also need to assign these resources to each task. For doing that, you can either just go here and in this cell, type in name of the resource, or you can choose name of the resource that you have here, but it would be a bit messy just choosing then writing the amount of resource that you need. So instead, the better way is to choose details, and then in front of it to choose task form. If you don't have task form in this menu here, go to more views and choose task form. Click apply. And down here you have these tables for information that you need to enter. We want to enter the information on required resources. You can type in ID of that resource if you remember, or you can choose the resource here. For example, for need survey we made marketing staff, and the unit that we need is 500%. If I go to another task, it automatically type in the resource that I added in this column, and it also calculates the equivalent amount of work in terms of hour. So 500% or 5 workers is equivalent to 800 hours. If you want to add another resource, you can just click down here, choose the next one, and type in the information for that one as well. We can go on for all of our resources, just typing the resource that we need for every single task. But let me copy and paste the required resource so we will be faster here. Let's remove this view, and this is the information that we have for every single task and the required resource. You can see on the left hand side that we have this sign, this little guide telling us that we have over allocated resources. So for these tasks 5, 6, 15, 17, 19 and 20 we have over allocation. But what resources were over allocated? We can simply go to resource usage and set this one to be thirds of month and then go back to 2012. You can see we have marketing staff being over allocated, R&D and then legal. But for getting more detailed information, you can look at this table and you can see we have over allocation in March, in the beginning of April, and then in February for R&D, and then down here in April for legal staff. If you want to see how much was over allocated, you can go to Format tab, click over allocation, and you can see the amount that was over allocated. The total allocation, this much of it was over allocated. So by any chance, if you can hire some additional people during this time, or you can ask your current staff to work overtime, maybe you can cover for this amount of resource that you need. But the other thing that we can do is to see whether we can level the resources within this time frame that we have. Let's check the critical tasks here, so we see what tasks are critical. These are all the tasks which are critical in this project. If I enter here free Slack, you see for these tasks I have 0 as the value of Slack, and these ones with 5 days, 30 days, 50 days are safe in this graph. Okay. Now we want to do the resource leveling to see how we can probably fix the problem of over allocation by choosing leveling. The first thing we want to do is to see whether we can solve the problem within the available Slack time. So I just choose this one to set the leveling within the Slack time. I don't want to calculate the leveling, to do the leveling automatically. So Microsoft Project doesn't automatically do the leveling. It needs me to tell it do the leveling. I choose manual. I want the leveling to be done for all the time, for the entire project, not for particular time frame, so which is also this one. And then okay. Now we want to do the leveling, but this leveling is not just for one resource. We want to do leveling for all the over allocated resources. So I choose this one. If I wanted to do the leveling for resources one by one, we could go to level resource and then choose that particular resource that I want to level and see what happens. But at the moment I want to do leveling for all of them. And this is the result. When doing the leveling with time constraint approach, it tells us that we cannot solve the over allocation problem for R&D staff during this period of time. If I skip this one, again, it tells that we have over allocation problem for the other time frame as well. So I skip all to see what happens. This is the result. From one side you can see some of the over allocations have been solved. We still have 2 here. 2 of the tasks have over allocated resources, and a number of the critical tasks has increased. Going back to resource usage, you see that for R&D we still have over allocation. So what we can do is to let's put it again on Gantt chart view. What we can do is to see whether we can solve the over allocation by considering the resource constraint approach. For doing that, you go to Resource tab, choose Leveling option, and this time we'll remove this tick from here, so it does not limit us just to the available slack time, and hit OK. If I do the leveling, you see that the problem of over allocation is solved. Length of the project has increased. Okay, and what happens here is that this one was set to be manually scheduled. You can see this sign here, it says manually scheduled. The other sign down here are automatically scheduled. The reason for me to put this one as manually scheduled is that we needed to set the start date to be in 2012, not today, so it was kind of impossible to put it as automatic, and for that reason it does not automatically update the information in this column, but it's always a better approach to put it for automatic approach, so you can see the updated information immediately. Now I need to do the auto schedule. You see that it's updated to 140 days to be the length of the project based on this resource leveling. And then what also happens is that it automatically changes the start of the project to the date of today, and I still need to change it manually to the date that we had in the beginning. And it says, okay, do you want to move backward? Yeah, okay. And this is the plan for this project. This is the primary plan that we can say we can do the project within this time frame, and resources are allocated properly.